Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting.
They need them.
Today, we're joining you from a Mandalorian beach resort. You know, I invested all this money in one of these sunscreen pop-up booths. I don't think I'm going to sell. I'm not going to sell one of these.
Yeah, but that's okay. I got Max over there on the Bessar Steel Shiner.
Have you ever felt what it's like to have Beskar on your head under a hot sun?
I don't
This
get
tent
it.
is amazing.
What's it like in the Mustafar system?
Yeah, Mandalorians are idiots, man. Okay. Anyway, welcome to Geek Tank Radio,
And it
everybody.
smells funny under that helmet.
It depends. I guess it also depends upon the creed that you hail to. If you're a purist, you're cooking it, but
You're
if
fully
not,
covered.
yeah.
I don't know. You know, the more I like, speaking of The Mandalorian, naturally we're going to discuss that later because the season finale wrapped up. But boy, having an entire series with all these Mandalorians in there really makes me question their whole culture and their whole aesthetic. And
Why
I
do
don't
you
know.
question the culture?
Would you want to wear a helmet every day? Do they sleep in these things?
I'm not questioning the culture. I'm questioning the hygiene.
Look,
and how do
yeah,
they
how
do
do
that?
they wash?
Here's the thing.
What is going? And
And
why
the-
is
and-
Bo-Katan's hair perfect every time she takes her helmet off?
Well, it's helmet head. I mean, geez. You've seen those little dots that glow on the side of her head on her headband?
Yeah.
That's to hold the helmet magnetically off the hair.
It's a hair force
It's a
field.
coif protector.
Okay. So
No.
welcome to boy, we got a lot of mileage out of that one.
Do you want to know the truth, though,
Explains
Joe?
why I have a skull cap, huh?
When you're home alone and there's no one else that can see you, you can take off your helmet. You can sleep without your helmet on.
Well, thank goodness.
Nobody's allowed to see your face. So
Okay. Well,
if someone breaks into your house, you have to kill them.
we'll unpack that and all the other mysteries today. But welcome to Geek Tank Radio, everybody.
Hey.
I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And yes, we'll discuss the wrap up and the bizarre adventure that season 3 has been. So
I got one question for Brandon, and he's
Okay.
the man that can
All right.
answer it for me.
I am here for you, Allan.
At a whole season, I got one question out of just the most minute Easter egg they could have hidden in the
Okay.
whole week, in the whole series.
okay,
I'm ready.
so we'll get to that, and then later in the show, Brandon, we finally have Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention announcements and updates to do. And folks, it's not typical that people that organize a convention also have a host a radio show. So we can give you sort of like the behind the scenes, how the sausage is made details. So you get a little bit of a different insight about the convention world, which we're happy to provide, man.
It's true. And one of the things that I wanted to chime in on this is it's so late in the year for us to be able to make our announcements. You do not know how stressful it's been on me and Joe going, can we say it now? Can we say it now? Can we say it now?
Well,
because you don't want to say something before everything's
you can't legally.
Yeah.
So this has been an unusual year, but it's unusual in a good way because
In a very
we
good
are
way.
taking about 100 steps forward with the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. So
I
we're,
put Joe
we're
in a
looking
cannon
forward to
and
it.
launched him. It
Yeah,
was great.
So we'll discuss that later in the show. But hey, Brandon, this is sort of an interesting thing to take a look at. You said the Ghostbusters. I guess we're calling this a universe now, but the next
right.
Ghostbusters film, they announced a casting choice that you were intrigued
it wasn't really so much that they announced it, but there were some production stills that made it offset. That show William Atherton at the firehouse.
Really?
Now,
Really?
who is William Atherton?
Well, William Atherton is an actor known for playing the proverbial jerk in a lot of 80s films.
He was the 80s,
He was-
businessman jerk.
But he
whole thing.
played Walter Peck,
Yes,
who was the
he
head
did.
of the EPA chapter in New York City, and he was the one who had them shut down the containment unit at the end of the first Ghostbusters movie. Spoilers, I'm sorry. If you haven't seen that movie by now, you're not
the
going to watch
40-year-old
it.
movie, yeah. So, but yeah, and that's what launched the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and all the demons and everything
And
else.
of course,
but,
when Stay Puft went kablooey, he's the guy at the end who's kind of running through the parking lot, and he gets completely slathered in molten marshmallow cream.
Yeah, he gets splooshed.
well, here was my question about that because he is great. I mean, I'd like to meet that guy. He might be a good celebrity guest at some point down the road. But okay,
And I've heard in real life he is like a sweetheart of a dude.
I'm sure these guys, we've said that in the past. If you're going to be a character, it'd be way more fun to play the villain. Let's face it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But-
we hang out with one.
Okay, so you can either play the hero or the villain, or you play this guy isn't necessarily a villain. He's just the annoying, Weasley, whatever.
He's the Weasley bureaucrat. Who
Is that
hasn't seen
fun?
that?
So I guess I'm wondering, is that fun to play, or is that detrimental to your career?
He is a
'Cause-
linchpin character because every time he has shown up as the evil jerk, he is the guy that makes the one phone call that causes the explosion, or gives the one command that causes all the ghosts to get loose. But he plays that really critical linchpin character
well, he
and that
steals-
causes everything to happen.
Yeah.
Then there's also the Weasley characters that just look disgusting. I'm reminded of Grima from the Lord of the Rings.
Right. Yeah. Well, here's my question though. Okay, like if some of these celebrities, they go out and everybody wants their autograph and everybody wants to congratulate them, and like if you met Leonard Nimoy back when he was alive, you would have wanted to buy the guy a beer or something. Well, what do you want to do when you meet this guy?
Unfortunately, you probably want to punch him because of everybody he's
You
played.
want to ask him if in Real Genius, when he made it to that house, if that was real popcorn that was everywhere.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, yes.
Or
That
you
was
want to do the
classic.
thing. You want to do the thing like in the Jaws movie where the mother slaps the guy.
Right. And I just wonder what that does to their everyday life or to their self-esteem or something. And it's like, because
It's
if you
called a
pull off
paycheck.
the performance, I don't know. Well, and are you typecast? Because could you picture him playing the lovable, heroic father or somebody? I don't know. I could never picture him doing something other than.
It's like Willem Dafoe.
No. Now, see, Max, you just triggered. William Dafoe is a wide range. He played. What did he played Elias. I mean, Elias.
Okay,
was a
fair.
Okay, and then he played.
However, most of the times he's going to kill you.
he's a chameleon. No, he can play. He can play.
Okay,
heroic.
Christopher Walken.
Again,
Same.
most of the time he's going to kill you.
And we're not talking about in a role. We're talking about in real life.
I think Christopher Walken's actually a good example. I've never seen him play a character that didn't have some. You never looked at him and said, "This is a squeaky clean individual." He's always shady or he's always a little off. So okay. All right, well, so we'll be following that. I wonder if that's enough to make that move, make me want to pay for a ticket to the new Ghostbusters.
No,
'cause
don't go see it.
I don't think I'm gonna. So, all right, you're listening to Geek Tank Radio. We're going to take a quick break, then we're going to talk about the Mandalorian season finale.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. Even the Borg refused to assimilate them. The Geek Patrol is back.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
that
I
is
have
true.
to jump in real quick, just because before we get into the Mandalorian, we had another season finale this week.
Oh,
And
okay.
well, technically a series finale, and that was Picard. And hearing Alice Krieg's voice as the Borg Queen again after all these years, yeah, that was kind of.
Oh, I thought there was a joke coming. Okay.
No, that was chilling.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm glad we weren't assimilated.
They keep coming on to me, though. I
I
think they want me.
Yeah, they're after Max, but
It's because you have control of the communications.
Allan's about 50% robot already, so that's a wasted effort. Welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And just warning, that we're going to deal fully in spoilers in this upcoming discussion because Brandon. Bo-Katan season 3 wrapped up. Oh, I'm sorry, the Mandalorian season 3.
You can't call this Bo-Katan. This was Grogu and the Adelphi Rangers season 3.
Yeah, and
I'm
by
sorry.
the way, Din Grogu is the new name for my band. But
I'm down with that
And he's
Okay.
got
As
a
long as I
cute
can play
little
drums.
helmet.
So
with my feet.
let's go back a few weeks or really a couple months or whatever. But season 3 has really had us scratching our head. It had me scratching my head
it had
because it
you
did not even feel like the same show.
It had you scratching your head, but the truth of the matter is I actually got some stories I would have preferred to get over what we got in season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Okay,
I loved that episode on Coruscant with the doctor and Elia Kane. I loved that episode.
okay.
I loved the whole, I loved the procedural thing of Bo-Katan and Din Djarin going and having to basically solve a robot crime before they could go talk to the or to the separatist Mandalorians.
Talking about the Jack Black and Lizzo episodes. Okay.
But I'm a big fan of things like Law and Order and CSI and NCIS and stuff like that. So that episode felt like that. I was expecting Grogu to do the dun dun at every scene change.
Right. Well, these last 2 episodes felt more like what we were used to in the and really we're saying 2 episodes. It was almost 1 episode in terms of its pace because it was taking place in the same spot. It literally picked up episode 8 just literally picked up and started where episode 7 ended. So, but we had the big climactic battle, but we've already been looking at there is some fallout that leads me to believe we have to have a season 4. Right?
Oh well, because season 4 has already been written according to Favreau. He's already got it written and it's ready to go as soon as they say, okay, here's your money.
Okay. Well, that was. I guess I'm just wondering though, what are we going to get in season 4? Because, like I said, it just felt like a different show this season.
Right.
And I don't know, and not all of it I liked. I really didn't like most of this season. I hate to say it, but okay.
You just set up my question.
Okay.
Okay. So we're at the end.
Right.
We're scanning around, and there's all the bric-a-brac and stuff on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
There's a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
With the scratches on it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Wasn't that the zombies?
Those were the
wasn't that the zombies?
Those were the.
I'm looking dead at Brandon here.
Those are the plague troopers. That is the plague trooper helmet.
Yes. The boatload of stuff you don't want.
The one that that very famous helmet from that horrible book that came out that is considered canon. Yes, that's the.
It looked like there were some claw marks across the face.
Well, that is exactly correct.
Yes, that's exactly what that is, or at least that's what it's alluded to be.
I saw that and I went, of all things, for me, who watches the show mostly sporadically when I get a chance, I see the one scene, I see the one thing in it I recognize. I'm like, wait, isn't that if that's what I think that is, season number 4 is going to go so wrong.
Well, the one thing you have to take into account is that if you're looking at that and you see it up there, that's already happened. It could happen again.
That part's happened.
It could happen again.
But as we know from any good zombie movie, there's always one more zombie.
Right. There's always it's way more than one, and it usually they hammer it into the ground.
Well, but we just had the whole big clone thing, a clone of a clone of a clone, which of course means you can't kill anybody in this universe.
Can I just can we laugh at Moff Gideon getting so upset that his clones would never breathe air? It's like he was so mad.
Here's my thing, Brandon. Okay, he said something.
Was that really Moff?
He said something to me, and I remember that one great line that Han Solo said in The Force Awakens, where he said that that's not how the Force works.
Right.
Well, he was talking about making these clones, and he was saying he was going to infuse them with the Force because he doesn't have that. Well, how do you do that? It sounds like I don't even know how you do it. It's not like you take.
Hold on, Allan.
Okay,
I got this, Allan. Hold on. So let's roll back and think about something else we just had a season finale on.
Okay.
Bad Batch.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing with the Camino and on that other world is they are developing the necessary skills to place force powers within a clone body so that Palpatine can have his clone bodies.
Is that how it works? I mean, I don't get that.
That's how it worked.
I thought the Force is okay.
Here's the thing, Joe. In episode 1, The Phantom Menace, George Lucas set up a precedent with midichlorians.
Right.
All you have to do is find a way to genetically manipulate a body to have the amount of midichlorians necessary to become force sensitive.
But see, here's the thing. I feel like they undercut their own premise because at the same time we have these. What was that little special where we see Ahsoka as a baby and everything, and it's like. We've heard for years, it's like, well, these children were identified as being force sensitive, so we're going to take them to the Jedi Academy and train them. So it sounds like it's a random thing. Just because she was force sensitive doesn't mean her parents were or her sister.
But, so
it sounds like it's randomly.
Right, but I'm going to step out of that again. When they had Grogu in season 2 and they took his blood.
Is that what Moff Gideon put into the clone?
That's what
ding 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 ding.
That's what they did to put into the clones so that those would be force sensitive. That's why he wanted the child. That's the only reason he wanted the child from the get-go is because of how strong that species that Yoda and Grogu and Yaddle are a part of, that their midichlorians are so just off the charts.
Okay.
That's why in the second season he's like, you can have him back. I'm done with him. I've got all that I need.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I get that. I just didn't know that's how the Force works. And I mean, I don't know. It sounds less mysterious or less interesting.
It's
to
like
me.
getting the materials you need to build an antenna. He still would have to learn how to use the antenna to reach out and get what he needed.
Okay, we'll continue the conversation.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
listening to Geek Tank Radio. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. May the odds be never in their favor. The Geek Patrol is back.
Probably a good prophecy there. I felt that way many a times, you guys.
That's
I hate
why
to
I
say it.
stacked the deck.
Yeah.
So welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth and our buddy Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, we've been discussing the Mandalorian Season 3 finale, and we've agreed that we probably ought to move. I ought to move along. I've been just hung up on the whole notion that you can clone the Force, that you can insert Force powers into a clone and make a whole army. I think that's ridiculous.
no.
I think it goes against the whole premise, but we're going to move along. So
You actually do have a point.
okay.
Because once he gets the midichlorians up enough that he can, become Force sensitive, he still has to learn how to use it.
Right. Well, he thinks he's going to
old and
control an
arrogant,
army of. Yeah. I mean, it seems like a real.
Well, it doesn't
losing
matter
cause.
anymore because in case y'all missed it, he dead now.
No, Moff
Is he?
Gideon's not dead. Okay.
No.
He hid behind a plume of fire.
He's not dead.
No, he's dead. It's his.
He needs to be.
And
dead.
don't tell me some interviewer told
No.
it. Okay,
We are moving on to a new chapter in Den's life. There's no point in doing that if the same villain's coming back.
I don't know.
Right.
Well, Moff Gideon's out
Palpatine.
there somewhere. So
Yeah, he needs to be dead.
well, the thing about it is, who plays Moff Gideon?
Giancarlo Esposito.
That guy's awesome. I will say, every time Moff Gideon says anything, he's great.
But-
He's really good at delivering
but,
dialogue, but you can't just keep recycling the same
But here's the thing:
villain.
he is very focused on trying to take over a certain role coming up soon in the Marvel films. Which
gotcha.
will if he gets that role,
Would be good.
It'll be a different step. It will definitely be a different direction than what you're used to. But if he becomes Professor Charles Xavier, he's going to be a little busy.
Wait, I didn't know that. I thought you were going to
Yes,
say he's okay.
He wants that. People were saying, no, he'd be better as Magneto, but he wants Xavier. He wants it bad.
Okay, well, he's a great actor, so okay. But there's a lot more to discuss because we're at the season, and so I mean, he just crushed the Darksaber. I didn't know that's how it worked either. I thought that thing's made of Beskar.
Well, yeah, but
and whatever. Beskar against Beskar.
But that's the thing though. The armor he's in he's in Dark Trooper armor.
I mean, it's you can hear it. It's like an exoskeleton.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that was enough to just crush the thing like.
Well, I mean,
tinfoil.
the Darksaber is built like any other lightsaber. They're all vulnerable to being destroyed.
He did it pretty easy.
And he crushed that thing, in which technically IG-88 could have done it. I don't know if IG-11 could. I know IG-12 can't.
Well, can somebody just make a new one?
It can be reforged.
Okay.
You just need the Kyber crystal out of it.
Okay.
That's what makes it unique.
Well, what'd you guys think? I will just, my favorite part so far was IG-11 becoming their marshal. I like that.
Yes.
I thought that was cool.
I love the when Den goes in and they're at the bar and he points up there. I'm gonna need a little advance, because he's willing to work with the Rangers now. And he goes, really what? And he goes, that I need it for parts. And he's pointing at the IG head. And then when IG-11 walks back out as their new marshal, and he's got like the red and the white pieces to him, and all the little Babu Frick things are sitting over there watching him come out. I'm just like sitting there going, yes, I want more of him, because I think that we're going to go back more to the episodic style of the first season.
Yeah, because he's going to be a bounty
With
hunter
what
again.
we're going to get, yeah.
Well, and I will say this, in the last episode when he goes through that barrier and he kicked some Kadiddlehoff this
Dude.
Din Djarin, and he had no weapons. He just went. He was
And
tied up. And
can we take a
cool.
moment?
So, yeah.
Can we take a moment and thank the Mandalorian for letting R5 get redemption?
Oh yeah, yeah. R5 was great. Yeah.
I liked the fight scenes this time because it wasn't a Jedi.
Yeah.
This was, I mean, I love my Jedi and all that stuff, but the whole, oh, look, I dropped the blaster.
This was street level fighting.
This was serious Punisher in a hallway.
Right.
And it was bite-sized pieces. I like how they broke up the fight so that it was actually
felt like a video
achievable.
Yeah.
And
it evolved. He was,
you know, he was getting what he was given too.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like I'm going to walk in and knock these two down.
Right.
I think that's one of the things I've always liked about the character of Din Djarin is because he gets the crap beat out of him, but he just keeps coming.
And I like how he says, okay, I don't have any weapons, so this could get messy. I mean, I like the courage, and I like everything like that,
He's just kind of like, I'm just going to have to beat you to death with my hands.
Right. No, the frustration you can feel without ever being able to see the actor's face or anything, but just the body language, even in all that armor, the frustration that he feels when he goes after that gun and it goes over the side.
Right.
And it's like, that would have made it so much easier. I've got a knife and a little shield.
Okay, that was my other thing, because one of the things, and I feel like this is almost a running joke at this point, but what is the point of having this, like, bottomless pit 2 feet away from where all your guards are staying? Like, what benefit is that? There's no handrails. There's no...
I just want to know, like, when they fired the original death beam in the original, they had guys standing there on, like, a observation deck with how many quadrillion joules of power flashing by, and these guys didn't go up in flames.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. Empire technology, kind of like Spartan technology. We have a pit just in case we need to throw somebody over in it.
That's the only point I get out of it.
That's all right, if you want to go for it. It doesn't matter, and I think Galaxy Quest does it best when they're trying to get to the It's like, why do we have all
this episode? Yeah. What function does this serve?
Somebody punched the writer.
But I think it was Michael Sheard at a Mid-South Con one year. It's like, we asked him, and he goes, exhaust. That's all he said was exhaust.
Yep.
That's a pretty weird. So you're breathing it. You're going to have exhaust where all your guards are standing.
Yep. That's why you wear.
And they're inhaled.
That's why you wear a mask. It's got a filtration unit.
But I think that's kind of a design flaw. I don't know.
Oh no!
I mean, the Emperor Palpatine, he paid the price for having that big bottomless pit. Right off his throne room. So I don't know.
I mean, it's a good spot for it. Who knows?
Intimidation factor or something. But go figure. That is
Leonidas and his bottomless well. This is Sparta, man.
Well, without that bottomless pit, that fight might have played out differently, because I mean, he kicked half those guys down into the
bottomless pit. Yeah.
So. But I mean, were you guys satisfied with the? I mean,
I had one flashback, because all the Mandalorians are poised and begin flying down into the planet. All I could see was Brian Blessed as Hawkman screaming, "Die!" That's what this scene is. I've seen this in 12 movies.
Okay,
but no, I'm gonna have to. The 4 episodes of The Mandalorian that took place were great, but the other 4 episodes I think kept my attention better.
Okay. All right. We might have a few parting thoughts when we come back. And then we have a Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention update.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. Targ burgers are now on the menu. The Geek Patrol is back.
And you got to make sure they're well cooked, Allan. Medium rare doesn't work for Targ.
Well, a nice medium's all right. It's a little chewy.
Okay.
It resists a little bit.
You guys are going to make me vegan before this is all said and done.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth, and our buddy Max over there behind the glass, firing up the grill. We can't wait.
I knew that was a weird smell.
You don't want to trust me with fire.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, we've discussed. Let's face it, we've discussed mostly the Mandalorian season 3 finale. And we discussed a little bit about what it's like to play a jerk on screen. If you're really good at it, it's probably a lot of fun. But how does that affect your personal life? What is it?
All I know is that William Atherton deserves the Geek Tank seal of approval.
Yeah. So, but if you missed any of our episodes, Allan, they could still catch our past episodes, right?
They most certainly can. They can pop over to geektankradio.com or darkoakmedia.com. And you know what? We are Amazing Podcast. We are a part of the new YouTube podcast family, and of course, we're on Spotify. So feel free to take us with you, and we literally have hundreds of hours of content for you.
And do a little detective work. Track down some of our really old stuff.
Oh,
Like we
yeah.
said, Geek Tank's been around for 8 years. So it's,
Yeah, like
on
us
many-
and subscribe.
Yeah. Hey, you guys. So one advantage of if you're listening to Geek Tank Radio, we've among other things, we run the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention, and we've been sitting on. There's going to be many changes this year, Brandon, and they're all good, and we're excited. But it took a while to.
I'm not going to say they're
happen.
all good.
I am
just because of the fact that we also have to say goodbye to a couple of really good friends.
Okay, talk to me.
So for the past couple of years, we haven't been able to do our gaming setup.
Oh, right. Yep.
But the people who run our gaming, they're moving out of the state to start a new adventure in their life, and we're really excited for them. But we are going to have to look into a whole new setup for gaming.
Well, we do have. I mean, we've got a pretty big gaming library, and a big shout out to David and Caden because they've been rock. During a convention, the last thing you want is somebody to run up to you and go, "Hey, we've got this problem," or something. What you want is somebody that solves the problem.
What's always been awesome is throughout the years, if Caden has a problem, you only find out about it when Caden tells you, "Hey, I had to do this." In case somebody says, "Hey, this is what I stole these tables from the back."
Right.
Because we needed these tables. And David has always been really upfront with everything. He's like, straight up. He tells us what he needs beforehand. He's not one of those guys who goes, "Oh, I needed you to do this." Instead, we would always know like a week or two in advance of setup exactly what they needed.
Well, we wish them well, and hopefully maybe at some point they'll be out here in November and they can come see it. But Brandon...
Well, it's like I said, they are family, and they will always be welcome with us.
Yep. But the big news is we're moving to a new location. Finally. Okay,
we have a whole new venue, guys, but it's embrace the past or respect the past to embrace the future.
Yeah, we through COVID and through the weird years, let's face it, we basically we've kept it going, but we were at the Marriott, which was always a little too small for us. Let's just be honest. So
a magnificent venue,
very nice people. Couldn't be nicer.
I'm not blaming our fans or anything, but they wanted us back in East Memphis.
Well, so we're here at the University of Memphis Holiday Inn, which is 2 or 3 times bigger than the space we had before. Right. And we're doing a lot of interesting partnerships. We're partnering with the university. Different departments are going to be getting involved.
Right.
But also, we're partnering with Cumulus. All the stations across all our sister stations are participating and in building the convention this year, which is going to be pretty cool.
It's going to open up the convention to a new audience.
Right. I want to see the Kicks 106 people showing up.
God, I am going to put the challenge out. I'm putting the challenge out now. The first person to show up Saturday morning in a Silverhawks bluegrass cosplay, complete with guitar and Copper Kid sidekick, I will give you a free pass to that day.
Yeah.
I mean, I just will.
Well, the thing is, now that we've got more space, it gives us more. We can bring back a lot of things that we weren't able to do, and we're going full steam over here. Yeah. And we're going to be, we're still searching for our celebrity guests. But the big thing is we have space to work with in a really nice location and lots of great partners now, which is going to.
Of course, we're also going to have our traditional staples. We will have our Lego lane, set up. We'll have our build table. We'll have all our wonderful artists and vendors that you're used to seeing, plus a whole lot more this year.
Yeah, we got more room.
Yeah, we've got so much more space for our vendors. We've got more room for programming. We're, like you said, we're bringing back gaming. And, of course, after the amazing success that it had last year, we're going to be kicking off the Piranha Room hardcore on November 11th, that Saturday night.
Yeah. The Piranha Room is my that's my favorite. I have to be honest, it's probably my favorite part of the convention. So an 80s goth club with all sorts of variations and twists on Saturday night. And what warmed my heart was seeing people of every age. I saw 16-year-olds dancing near 70-year-old, every age group dancing to the music that I liked growing up. So all gothic stuff, but it's fun.
What was great was while we were at the Marriott, of course, there's always people in and out of there. And because we opened up tickets to the Piranha Room, even to people who aren't our attendees last year, We had people who were just guests at the hotel who came down,
Oh, yeah.
threw their $5 in, got their Piranha Room badge, and went in and just had a good time.
Yeah.
And that was different. I'm not used to something like that, but it was like the most straight-laced moms I've ever seen in my life.
The soccer
Dancing.
moms came in literally and were dancing with all of our geeks.
Yeah,
it was
great.
fun. So, but check it out. So stay tuned. We're not going to give weekly updates, but we will keep you posted. So
Every time we have a big announcement, we will be hitting you here.
go to memphiscfc.com. Definitely go to join the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention Facebook page and double check because there's different conventions in town, so you want to make sure you pick the right one.
And
so
I'm just going to tell you, go ahead and just click on all of them.
Yeah, because we all support each other.
We try and support each other as much as we can.
Indeed.
But we're excited, and like we said, it's not because we have a radio show and we run the convention, you can get some interesting insight. So you can find out what it's like to organize an event. And if you're crazy enough to want to do it, we'll tell you.
It's like Joe's lost all his hair and mine's turning gray. That shows
Text
you what
us
it's
your
like.
questions. We want to answer them.
That's true.
You can just text us at 901-921-7105. All right, guys. Well, the clock waits for no one. It's time to get out of here. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
I'm Allan Gilbreth.
I'm Maximilian.
And I am Brandon Olmstead reminding you to keep the helmet on for obvious reasons.